time has now come to reveal the weighty part played by Malta in the invasion of Sicily. From her airfields, Spitfires were continually taking off to spread their protective wings over the expedition. Permanent patrol was maintained by the RAF, as Tedder's great air umbrella screened the Allied convoys bearing down on the Italian island. Out from Malta came invasion craft laden with RAF ground staff with their equipment and supplies to take over the Axis airfields which were falling into our hands. One of the first RAF units ashore in Sicily was a balloon squadron. It is always gratifying to record the work of the lesser-known sections of the operational forces employed. They labored hard and gave yeoman service in the protection of our armada, presenting as it lay offshore such a concentrated and inviting target to enemy aircraft. Squadrons leapt into Axis aerodromes as one by one they changed ownership. This is Comiso Airfield, lately vacated by a crack Luftwaffe squadron and showing much evidence of Allied bombing. From this point, our story switches from the Air Force to the Land Force, digging deep into the hinterland of Sicily. From towns and villages north and west of Syracuse come these further incidents in the campaign. From a prominence dominating the bay, we get a commanding view of the great fleet of transport vessels anchored off Syracuse. This same high vantage point has been chosen by General Montgomery to view the effect of a naval bombardment. Away to the north across the bay lies Augusta, under a pall of smoke from bursting shells. Francofonte rumbles to the sound of our transport and armor and the cheering and hand-clapping of an excited population. A fantastic welcome, which, were it not true, would be unbelievable. The feat of arms performed by the superlative United Kingdom, Canadian, and American Combine has been instrumental in the disintegration of the fascist regime. A trilogy which tore one tyrant from his tottering throne. Maybe you don't detect it, but there's a strong smell of oranges. On the road out of Francofonte, a British patrol ran into unexpected resistance. Sergeant French, an Army film unit cameraman, took what cover he could find and filmed the incident from his risky position. Now, just look at that. If the Italians ever run short of white flags, the position will be serious. On the road to Vizzini, a Scotsman pipes a column of Tommies to their next place of occupation. A dry and dusty scene which has its opposite on the beaches, where a pipeline from a tanker offshore brings water for the thirsty. This reserve of drinking water is tested by an RAMC man for purity. Then, if nobody has any whiskey, it's pumped into a large canvas tank. This is the rail junction town of Palazzolo, where flour left behind in railway trucks by the retreating Italians was handed out by our men to the civilian population. And now, like the rolling snowball, the prisoners begin to mount. Pockets grow to platoons, platoons swell to battalions, and the spreading epidemic of surrender touches off brigades. Add these all together, and you have the big figures which Allied communiques are daily reporting. This little bit of business with a sulky soldier of Italy is quite amusing. Go on. that queue. The overflow of captives in Sicily is shipped off to North African ports. To say overflow just about sums it up. The unchanging scene shifts to England, part of the column which reaches across the sea from North Africa to the British Isles. The Hermann Goering armband announces the fact that this batch of Nazis includes some of the pick of the Reichswehr. There's a notable difference in the manner of these prisoners. Our cameraman told us that they were still fully convinced that Germany would win. Their arrogance is unbounded. For the train journey, they're given railway buns and spam sandwiches. Serves them right. Synchronizing with the arrival of this gang of prisoners came the news that Benito Mussolini, the sawdust Caesar, had either resigned or been thrown out by the miniature King of Italy, Victor Emmanuel. We're not going to bore you with details of the fallen idol's misdeeds or of his toadying to that other loathsome personality, the arch-criminal of Berchtesgaden. Mussolini, the greedy Italian, to quote Mr. Churchill, has, in his time, held more titles and had more uniforms and orders than Goering has medals. But now he's got the last order of all, the Order of the Boot.